What up YouTube, I'm back with another episode review of Boruto Naruto Next Generation. I didn't do a review for last week's episode because I honestly thought it was trash, but this week's episode was pretty good, man. I really liked the choreography that we got for the multiple fights that we got in this week's episode, so let's get right to it, man. So the whole episode was basically a fight between Team 7 and Ao, and I thought it was pretty well done considering it wasn't the best animation that we've ever seen, but they did their best without putting all that budget in that fight, so I thought it was really well done. I really like the choreography that we got between Sarada, Konohamaru and Mitsuki fighting Ao. I thought it was well done. I really liked it a lot. Just seeing their teamwork together, I thought it's something that we haven't seen a lot, between Team 7, because we haven't seen a lot of their missions, so I thought that was pretty cool. When I'm saying that we haven't seen a lot of their missions together, I'm just saying that usually there's somebody else with them, but in this episode we just saw Konohamaru, Sarada, Mitsuki and Boruto work together against one enemy, so I thought it was pretty cool. That's all I'm saying. But yes, Sarada, Konohamaru and Mitsuki all had to attack Ao with some of their ninjutsu all at once because he was really strong, one, and two, he had the scientific ninja tool that he stole from Katasuke that can absorb ninjutsu, so they had to go all out to make an opening for Boruto, and we all know that Boruto had the other gauntlets that absorb ninjutsu and the laser sword that uses a lot of his chakra. So they made an opening for Boruto, and I thought it was pretty cool to see Boruto use his laser chakra sword, because I think we got to see him use it a few episodes ago, but he missed the mark. But in this week's episode we saw it clash with Ao's laser sword, so it was kind of cool. It reminded me a lot of Star Wars, I'm a big fan of that, but yeah, it was kind of cool to see Boruto use the chakra sword, but he can't use it a lot because it uses a lot of his chakra, so I don't know how much we'll get to see him use it, but I just thought that the clash between the two laser swords were pretty cool. We've learned a lot about Boruto in his own series, and one of the things that we've learned is that he's pretty much a genius, so I really like the way that he fought Ao in this week's episode. One of the first things that he did is that he used his Rasengan, and before Ao was able to kind of absorb it with his scientific ninja tool, Boruto used his own scientific ninja tool to cancel out, the jutsu that is in these scientific ninja tools that can absorb chakra, so it canceled each other out, and then Boruto used his Rasengan to destroy, the scientific ninja tool that Ao had that he stole from Katasuke, so I thought it was really smart of Boruto to do that, and I really like how, some of the fights that we've gotten so far in this arc reminds me a lot of some of the earlier fights that we got in Naruto Part 1, you really have to think. It wasn't all power based, you really had to be thinking and be smart, so that's one of the things that I've really liked about the fights that we got so far in this arc. I thought it was really interesting that when Ao took Boruto's laser chakra sword, it turned red and not blue. We've seen when Boruto uses it, it turns blue, but when Ao used it, it turned red, so I'm guessing they're doing a kind of Star Wars thing where in Star Wars the Sith, the bad guys, have a red lightsaber and the Jedi's got, a blue or green, or some got yellowish lightsabers, so I thought it was really interesting. I don't know if they're gonna talk about it in the future of the series, or it's just an artistic choice that they made. Now, my favorite part of the episode was the one-on-one fight between Ao and Boruto, because the animation for that fight was pretty well done. I think it was the best animation that we saw in this week's episode, and it was great, man. I really liked that fight a lot. But first of all, we gotta talk about the mirror drones that Ao has in his possessions, because it caught me off guard, and it caught Boruto and Konohamaru off guard, because Konohamaru kind of had to save Boruto because it caught all of them off guard. So it was crazy, man. The technology in the Boruto series is going crazy. I've said that in a few episodes earlier, in this arc, that the scientific ninja tools that they're using is pretty much the technology that we use in our world. It's pretty crazy how advanced they've gotten since the fourth Great Ninja War that ended, I think maybe 13 years ago or something like that, or 16 years ago. I'm not really sure. I'd had to go read again when it was, but yeah, man, the technology has advanced so much that it's kind of crazy that we're seeing all of that in the Boruto series right now. The way that these mirror drones work is that the user transmits his chakra to them so that it can move it and use it to attack, so it kind of reminds me a little bit of puppets, but without the chakra string, so it's kind of crazy, but I'm not going to be surprised anymore with the technology that we're going to see in this series because of everything that we've seen so far, so I'm not going to be surprised no more, no matter what. I've said earlier that I really like the fight between Boruto and Ao because of the animation and the choreography of the fight. Like I said, the animation was pretty good. It was the best animation of the episode in my opinion, and the choreography was really well done because Boruto had to fight these drones and destroy these drones, so the way that he did that was basically use shadow clones to propulse him in the air, then use explosive tag to destroy them, and use shuriken imbued with some change in chakra nature with lightning, so I thought it was really well done. I really liked the way it was done, the animation, the choreography, everything about that fight was pretty good. And it wasn't the best animation that we've ever seen, but it was still so well done in my opinion. It was pretty cool, man, I'm not gonna lie. Anyhow, the most interesting part of the episode for me was trying to understand why Ao was doing what he was doing, and he told us a little bit about it. During the fourth Great Ninja War, he lost his Byakugan, one of his arms and one of his legs, so he couldn't really be a shinobi anymore, and he didn't know what to do with his life, but Kara gave him a purpose, gave him something to do. They gave him, scientific ninja tools to work with, a leg and an arm, artificial arm and leg, so he could do something about his life. We don't exactly know what is Kara's plan, what are their goals, but Ao used himself as a tool for them, so he had something to do about his life. So I thought it was a pretty cool conversation that we got between him and Boruto before and during the fight. It was really well done. It was good. We don't exactly know what the real goal is, but at least we know why Ao is doing what he was doing. At the end of the day, Boruto was able to defeat Ao with his Rasengan. I thought it was beautiful animation for it, and it kind of reminded me a little bit of when Jiraiya used it for the first time in Naruto Part 1. We could see kind of a tornado-like form, when Boruto finished his Rasengan, so it reminded me a lot of that. And I'm guessing that Boruto can use a lot more of his chakra into the Rasengan. It seems like his Rasengan is getting stronger, so maybe it's because Boruto can infuse more chakra into it. I'm not really sure, but it seems like his Rasengan is getting stronger. Let me know in the comments down below. I thought Boruto's speech at the end of the episode was really good. I think it was one of his best in his series so far, and kind of rivaled some of Naruto's, in his own series. So I thought it was really good. Just live, live your life. You're there, live it, So I just thought it was pretty good, and I thought that shot of, Boruto really kind of showed how much he cared, about Ao and how he lived his life. I thought it represented that scene really well. The last scene of the episode made me ask a lot of questions, and obviously the last scene was with Kashin Koji, one of the members of the Kara group, and the reason why it made me ask a lot of questions is because he reminds me a lot of a certain character in Naruto Part 1 and Naruto Shippuden, and the reason for that is because at the beginning of this arc it seemed like he has history with the Leaf Village, he had a quote, or he said something about Leaf Village, kind of saying that it's been a while since he's been there, and it seems like he has history with it, so I'm not really sure what he was saying by that. And then in this week's episode, he said something like, I think one of his jutsu, or it's not actually a jutsu, but one of his attack is called Summoning Steam Toad, so that's something that not a lot of people use, in the Naruto verse. The ones that uses Toad technique, or Toad in general, is Jiraiya, Naruto, Minato, and I think Konohamaru maybe, but we haven't seen a lot of other people use Toad for their attacks, so that's just weird to me, and the character that he reminds me a little bit of is Jiraiya, because he has white hair. Obviously Jiraiya didn't have a beard, but he reminds me a lot of him for a reason, because he uses toads in his techniques. It seems like he has a past with the Leaf Village. He has white hair and everything. He has a mask, so we can't really recognize him, so I'm not really sure, man. There's something fishy about him. We're supposed maybe to know him, because it seems like he knows the Leaf Village and he knows Naruto Uzumaki or Boruto Uzumaki. I'm not really sure, but I can't wait to be revealed, who he is, because it seems like it's Obito all over again with Toby and his mask and everything. So yeah, man, it was a really good episode. I really liked it compared to what the episode was last week. It was a lot better. Let me know what you thought about this week's episode in the comments down below. Let me know what you think is gonna happen next. It seems like next week's episode is gonna be equally as good or even better than this week's episode. I think next week's episode is called Karma or something like that, so it's gonna be interesting. I can't wait. I do Boruto Naruto Next Generation reviews every Sunday morning, so subscribe for that. And I also do other anime related things like Attack on Titan reviews on Sundays, Black Clover reviews on Tuesdays, Dr. Stone and The Promised Neverland reviews on Thursdays, and then Jujutsu Kaisen reviews on Fridays. I usually do One Piece reviews on Saturdays, but I haven't done one this week, but it's gonna be back next week, so stay tuned. But yeah, man, like, comment, subscribe. It would help my channel a lot, and follow me at Anime Specialist on Twitter and Instagram, man. So thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Anime Specialist out. Peace.